You will become 100% of what you believe. Whatever you believe, because faith is when you see faith, the meaning of faith is to deeply trust something that you believe in. So if you 100% believe God and what he said he was going to do for your life, that's what your life will become. Whatever the Father said, it will become that. But anyway, I deeply believed that if I got this job at Sam's Club, I'd be able to help my mom, my sister, and my brother. Lo and behold, something bad happened before we got robbed. They took my shoes, they took my wallet, but I was able to receive that phone call. And I ended up getting a job at Sam's Club. And so after that happened, right, I ended up staying with my grandma, RP to my grandma, man. But I ended up staying with my grandma for a while. And my mom, she was still working at the motel. So I said, shoot, man, I got to get an apartment, man. So I deeply believed that I can get an apartment because I had a job. But first, I had to get a car. So I knew I needed a car in order to be able to help my mom out. So, long story short, I ain't had no license, man. I ain't had no license. And I tried out for the license test uh at least about 5 different times and failed. You know what I'm saying? I always miss one too many. So I'm walking. I'm walking from my grandma. My grandma, she stayed in Winterville. And so DMV at the time, it was in Greenville. You know what I'm saying? So I walked and I had to work that same day. Got to the place and I said, man, dear Heavenly Father, please allow me to pass this test. So I started taking the test and I missed three. I missed three, y'all. And so and I was only halfway done with the test. So I said, oh man, yo, I ain't even gonna lie. Bruh, I'm only halfway. I still had too many questions to, you know what I'm saying? Like make sure I get right. But make a long story short, man, I promise to you, yo, it was like the Father was placing the answers in my head. Cause stuff that used to didn't make sense started to make sense. Like the questions that I used to didn't understand, all of a sudden I understand now. And I said, oh man, that makes sense. Like, it's this answer. It's that answer. Oh man, this started to get easy. You know what I'm saying? And I end up passing the test.
I was about 15 or 16 years old, and my mom had just gotten a brand new Jeep Cherokee, brand new tires, and where the DMV is, they had just repaved the road. So I passed the driving part, but whenever I went to go around the curve for the driving portion of it, I squealed the tires just a little bit, and the lady failed me. But thankfully, the next day I went back, got a really nice black lady. She went on the test with me, said that she didn't see any of the issues that the other lady had pointed out, and she passed me.
So after that happened, that was like the happiest day of my life. And so what's crazy about it, y'all, remember I told you, whenever something good happens or is about to happen, something bad will happen. So after the test, right, I get to walking. This joint was crazy. And I heard something rattling down the road. They were like, you know what I'm saying? Just rattling. And I lie to you not, this was like some Final Destination stuff, y'all. So I was just standing on the sidewalk, something said move. Because when I heard the rattling, something said just move. So I moved, right? Lo and behold, one of those mini tractors, you know, one of those Bobcat tractors, fell off the truck right where I was standing, cracked the whole sidewalk up.
I don't remember anything bad happening to me the day that I got my license, but I do remember the first time I heard that still small voice. I was 22 years old and working at TGI Fridays in Metairie, and one of my really good friends was a cook there named Cedric. Now, Cedric lived in Littlewoods, and if you know anything about Littlewoods, you'll know that that is a very dangerous place for you to be, especially if you're white. But I didn't know, and honestly, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. The type of person that I was back then was pretty reckless. And so I was there one day trying to buy some weed, and this crackhead jumped out and tried to rob me. Now, when he pulled the gun on me, I was like, F you, mother effer, shoot me. And so he couldn't believe it. He pointed the gun down at my knee, and I was like, come on, mother effer, shoot me. And so he was just completely shocked that somebody was going to challenge him with a gun in their face. So, crazy thing. He put the gun down and we squared up, and I tried to hit him and missed, and he punched me in the face and fractured my orbit, my nose, and my maxilla. And for the longest time when I would tell this story, I would tell it with, he hit me with the pistol, because I was so ashamed that I had gotten my ass kicked so badly with one punch, and didn't want to admit to that. But anyway, going back to the story. Whenever he hit me, I don't even know how it happened, but I got him in a front headlock, and I'm literally seeing spots. It was not the first time that I had been concussed, because I had been trained as a fighter already. Part of the reason why I was so ashamed. But I was like thinking to myself, man, he's going to overcome me at any second and I'm going to be killed. And then I heard something say, let him go, and then front kick him in the chest. And so that's what I did. I let him go, hit him with a front kick in the chest. He hit the fences between the houses, bounced off, and hit the ground. Now at this point, I'm like, got blood pouring from my nose and snot, and I'm like, I'm going to go back to my car, get my bat, beat this guy to death. And so I got back to my car, and I was like, well, you know what? He's probably got his gun by now, and I better just go ahead and get out of here. So I got out of there, and I never went back to Little Woods ever again.